What's up, guys? Welcome back to Street Sense, and this is the 8th episode of our podcast, the Gabfest. Now, before we move ahead, let's actually talk about the elephant in the room. Normally, what happens is, like in this podcast, we talk about sneakers, we talk about streetwear, and mostly about our culture. But I guess, why to be selfish like that? We are living in an era of Corona, so might as well just promote that space also. And why not? I think everyone needs to be aware of that too, and not just about the sneaker and the streetwear world. Let's cut that whole BS out. And okay, yes, I've shaved off my beard, and that's why it's like this. I kind of feel weird because this is like after 3 years that I've shaved my beard off, and I don't really know as to how you guys will react out. But it's real funny, guys. Okay, just let it be. You guys are family only. Have a look. Yeah. Have a laugh. Have your moment. Especially for all the people who have been following Street Sense and our previous podcast. This is like a time for your mockery. Have a laugh, yeah. But yes, might as well just hit that subscribe button also. For you guys, this is probably like you guys have a new presenter. So yes, guys, moving forward from that, since this whole thing is done, let's talk about the drip of the day. There's nothing special about it. This is a basic sleeveless hoodie that I copped. This is like way old. I don't even remember where I copped this from, but I think this was one of the lifestyle stores or something of like that sort of store only. Underneath are my basketball pants from Adidas. These are not pants, these are like 3/4 shorts from Adidas, and this is a snapback from Tissa. Yeah. So a lot of you guys have actually DM'd us asking about where do I get my snapbacks from, and what all brands actually manufacture good snapbacks and are the market leaders of the same. So there are basically three market leaders in the global space, which have which have collaborations from with NBAs and NFLs also. These three brands are basically Michelle and Ness, New Era, and Tissa. Tissa is the one that I'm wearing today. So these are the three major leaders, but of course these are just brands. Like how you have Supremes, Off-Whites, this and that and whatnot. These are also just brands, but there are a lot of good quality snapbacks available at different stores. Like even H&M has some really good snapbacks. And in India, if you want to cop something, Urban Monkey is the place, guys. So you guys can cop some really good headgear from Urban Monkey too. So yeah, moving forward from that towards our main topic, which is the importance of having a multi-brand sneaker store or a sneaker boutique. And what's the sorry, and what's basically the idea behind having a store which has multiple brands under the same roof. So we won't really talk about the global space. Of course, there are a lot of stores, Bodega, Foot Locker, this, that, and whatnot. Some of them are like consignment stores, some of them like proper multi-brand sneaker stores. But we'll talk about India only, and what's the basic idea behind having such sort of stores. So in India, basically this concept started off with Veg Non-Veg. Shout out to Anand Ahuja and Abhineet Singh. They were the pioneers of bringing this whole concept to India. They launched their first store in Delhi itself in 2016, I guess, and that actually marked like a revolution in our community and in our sneaker world. And by our sneaker world, I mean for the whole of India. Because before this, we had all the brands, but we still had individual stores only. So now, even though we had all these brands, why am I still saying that it was a revolution for us? Was because for Indian market, it's very difficult to accept such sort of a concept, and it's really difficult for people also to believe even today that why would a Nike allow a silhouette from Adidas to sit on the same shelf. So just to get this out there, this is a completely legit concept, and this happens on a proper corporate brand level itself. They are not being the middlemen, they are not consigning their pairs from anywhere, they are doing it directly and dealing directly with the brands itself, be it Nike, Adidas, every or any other brand for that matter. And on the other hand, for brands also, stores like VNV and Superkicks are the best places to get their voices out there in the market. Because okay, so let's actually start talking about the pros and cons also for having this, and we'll again talk through examples only. So what basically happens is, if say I want to buy a basic white leather sneaker, the biggest sneaker that's killing the market in this zone are Stan Smiths. So Adidas, any second store you would go to at Adidas original store, we can easily find a Stan Smith. And likewise, Stan Smiths are available at Superkicks also and at Veg Non-Veg also. But I want to basically buy a white leather sneaker. I don't legitimately want to buy Stan Smiths. Why would I run after Stan Smiths? Is because there has been a lot of PR that has been driving around that specific silhouette in that sort of a domain, and also every second person is rocking that same silhouette. So what happens is, if I go to say Superkicks to buy a white leather sneaker, over there I won't just find a Stan Smith, but I'll also get Latis over there, which is exclusive to Superkicks. Then I would get Reebok Classics also. I would get something from Nike also. I would get something from Puma also. So under one single roof, I have a lot of options to buy for something that I want to, as an idea, aesthetically. If I want something, I'll have multiple options. If I go to Adidas only, they only have one or two silhouettes, which is probably a Superstar or a Stan Smith, right? But over here I have multiple options. So what this does is, this opens up a lot of doors for us as a consumer and as a buyer, and the perspective that we basically get from the people at these sort of stores is a very personalized, and it's not really biased towards one brand, because for them, the sales gonna happen no matter what brand they actually sell. Eventually the sales any which way is gonna happen. But if we go to any retail store, of course they will not say this thing that, okay, you don't buy Stan Smith, you go to Reebok store and you go buy XYZ silhouette. Of course they won't say that, because that's a loss of sale for them, that's a loss of opportunity for those people, and that's again not a bad thing. But from a perspective of a consumer, it gives us more and more opportunity, right? That is one thing. Two, as far as the demand is concerned for the store, right? So what happens is, if I want to buy Pumas, I would go to a Puma store. If we Obviously, I'm talking before VNV and before Superkicks. But if I want to buy Pumas, I would go to a Puma store. If I want to buy Nikes, I would go to a Nike store. And if I want to compare two silhouettes, then I would have to individually go to both the spaces and then think, okay, this is something what's better in this silhouette. This is something what's better in this silhouette. What's gonna go best for me? Then eventually I'm gonna go again and buy that whole thing. With these stores coming in place, that whole hassle has like flushed down the gutter, and it's only gonna be one visit to the store and you can get anything and everything. And not just about reaching out to the store, even at their online portals you'll have anything and everything that you search around, and all the brands and all the silhouettes gonna be listed over there. So you don't even have to scroll through different websites, scroll through different e-commerce places. It's just one place. You go over there and you'll have abundance of options, right? That's that. On a brand level, what this does is, even a customer who is loyal to Puma would come to them. A customer who's loyal to Nike would also come to them, or a Jordan loyal customer, or a customer who's loyal to Adidas would also come to them, and a Yeezy loyal customer all as well, right? So for brands like VNV and Superkicks, what this does is uh, the size of their market any which ways multiplies, because they are moving around and they are revolving around multiple brands. And that ways, like for all the retail stores, what happens is for them it's only a set of people who gonna enter their stores, or it's only gonna be a set of people who would want to buy buy from that specific store. But if it's a sneakerhead, or even if it's just a random person who's like, okay, I want to buy a sneaker, but I want to have a great buffet in front of me of sneakers, right? So that I can pick and choose as to what goes best for me. VNB and Superkicks are the spaces, guys. Next thing what this does is this creates an opportunity for them to upsell also, right? So over there, since they are not dependent on just one brand and they are not just selling one brand, what they can always do is they can always promote this thing, and they usually do this thing, and at times they don't even have to do this because everything is on the shelves. So people are like, okay, I want to buy beaters or I want to buy running shoes, so this is a running shoe that I can buy from, say for example, the running systems from Puma, right? They would buy that. The second thing would be like, okay, so these Vans look great, and this is something that I can rock with semi-formals also, or rock with some corporate casuals also. So at the same store, the sale multiplied all of a sudden, because the person was over there to only and only to buy a running sneaker. But since they got this opportunity to have a look at other pairs also, they copped it, right? On the other hand, if you go to say a regular Adidas store, the set of silhouettes are all similar, right? And of course over there you won't really find some good quality, something like a casual lifestyle sneaker or a skateboarding shoe. And of course Adidas has their whole skateboarding section to it, but then not a lot of silhouettes to be offered from them, right? Next thing what happens is, because they have multiplied market reach, they have a bigger database of the people who are buying sneakers. They have a bigger database of the people who invest their time and their money into this culture and this whole product, their product. So to reach out to brands, they have something more to offer. So if it's an Adidas loyal customer, they would go to a retail store from Adidas, they would buy it, and the same customer is gonna eventually repeat only, right? But to offer something more to the brands itself, they have a bigger database of customers, because they would have a database from the customers who are buying Pumas also, the customers who are buying Nikes also, customers who are buying Vans also, and likewise, as far as the whole R&D departments also work, this gives them a more space and a better opportunity to understand the market behavior, right? Because a Nike cannot understand the entire market behavior basis just the sale of Nikes, because every time, this is a biggest thing, that comparison is really important if a brand needs to sustain itself in the market or in the whole league. Of course, I'm not saying that it's right or not. I won't get into this thing, but it's a very healthy practice that each and every brand does, right? So this is a space, and even if not, say for that matter, on a brand level, I'm gonna talk about, but even on the level of veg, non-veg and Superkicks also, for them to analyze the market behavior, the audience behavior, the consumer behavior, for them it's way more easier, right? And since they have multiple products to offer it out to the customers, they have a better opportunity of increasing their sales and getting more people attract towards them. Now, next thing that I would talk about is something that's that's not really relatable with the global market, I would say, because I haven't really experienced that space. But in India specifically, it's a very personalized connect and a communication that happens whenever we enter those stores, or whenever we connect with the brands through their Instagrams or through their websites. It's a very personalized connect, because when you enter the store, what happens is the person who's actually attending you also, they are one, because they are not bound to sell only one product. They are always engaging themselves in some sort of a conversation with whosoever is entering over there. Now this sort of a practice is not something that I've experienced in any of the retail stores, because their agenda in most of the cases is to have more and more sales happening. But for brands like VNV and Superkicks, it's more of building up a market, up an audience, and driving the culture forward through their brand, right? So probably if the sale does not happen at that given point in time, the sale will eventually happen, and the person automatically gets connected with the brand as a whole. So eventually what happens is, even if I want to buy an XYZ sneaker, that's when what happens is, me as a customer would always prefer to go to Superkicks or VNV over any of the retail stores, because over there I get, it becomes more of like a friendly environment, and it becomes more of like a, over there you connect with your homies rather than sales representatives. It's like that, it's more of like that. And other thing also that I've experienced, and I personally believe which is the case in most of the multi-brand stores even globally, is that if you go over there and if you have a query, or if you want a specific sort of a sneaker for your own self, and if they don't have it, or if they see that okay, somewhat similar is gonna release eventually and it's gonna reach out to them, they always tell you, okay, don't buy it as of now, wait for this time, we'll hook you up as to when this release actually happens. So the point of sale for them at that point in time is not really there. But what they've done is, they've told the guy, the person, their eventual consumer also, that yes, there's something better that's probably coming in for you, right? And there's that's exactly what you need, is somewhat similar that's going to come down. So rather than buying or investing your money right now into an XYZ thing, and probably compromising as to what you actually need, just wait for some time and buy it eventually. That sort of an experience is something that we get from brands like this, because what happens is, at Nike they would never tell you, or even at Adidas, at the retail stores, they would never tell you what sort of a drop's gonna happen, say a week from now, or say a month from now. But with these sort of brands, they know it's more of like a long-term relationship that they build with a consumer, and they build a community around it. That's what works the best for consumers also, and for the brand also. Now I would actually like to talk about a drawback also, and I personally believe there's just one drawback in these sort of business setups, which is the brand level discounts and the brand level sales that normally happen. So every now and then, I'm not denying, so Veg Non-Veg and Superkicks, both of these stores, they have their individual discounts and markdowns happening every now and then, and they keep doing their personal campaigns and personal discount drives here and there. But what happens on a brand level are like end of season sale, or a Diwali sale, or an XYZ sale. So what happens is, as a customer, it diverts me away from VNV and Superkicks and pushes me towards buying back from the brand itself. Why? Only and only because money is gonna get saved. Now for me, I'm any which ways able to cop the pair that I want, right? And even at a better price. But on a brand level, this is somewhat I feel like is a loss for VNVs and Superkicks, because there was a time that I wanted to buy Thunder Spectras, or I think some pair from Pumas only, and I checked out Superkicks and VNV, both the spaces, it was sitting at retail price only. But at their official site and at most of their stores, that specific silhouette was under retail for about 30 to 40% off, right? Which is a big discount, of course, like no denial. And these sort of discounts keep on happening here and there, especially in Indian market. That's how brands are driving themselves forward with, right? So this is what I personally believe. But this is only one drawback that I feel is associates with the multi sneaker boutiques, multi brand sneaker boutiques, right? Rest everything is just like an all positive and the endless growing game. uh, Another thing I believe, and something that all of us has any which ways experiences, because they have a bigger audience base, a bigger market to cater to. Brands prefer dropping some of their exclusive pieces or exclusive drops with VNV and Superkicks only. Why? Because for them it's really hard and really difficult to understand and to realize as to at what retail store or at what in which city they should have an XYZ drop, say reverse breads for that matter, or Yeezys for that matter, right? But if they give it to only and only veg non-veg and only and only super kicks only, for them the job is done, because now they've already given out their pairs, they've already hit the Indian market, the entire of Indian zone, and rest of the headache and rest of the work is completely dependent on VNV and Superkicks. And what this does for Superkicks and VNV is they have some of those exclusive sort of drops to offer it to a bigger market, which attracts more and more people. VNV was the first store that launched in 2016 in Delhi. Then the first store that happened to open in Mumbai was Superkicks. Now both of these stores are going super strong, and both of these brands have 3 stores each in Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai. Both of these stores are available in all 3 of the cities. This in itself is a crazy boom for Indian culture, not just because uh, we have these brands and these labels in place, but what this actually does is this actually shows the strength of the whole of India to the brands, because brands usually, when it's only and only about their retail stores or their factory outlets, they only have a set sort of a perspective towards a market. But now these brands actually represent the whole of Indian culture, the whole of Indian society. And that's probably another reason why we see these sort of drops happening, wherein we have so many number of pairs that drop for Yeezys for each and every drop basically. And reverse breads happen to drop in India, which was again a very big leap that India took as far as the drop was concerned, even though we had very little drop. But just having them in place and having this opportunity of being able to cop them at retail, and this was something that was an initiative taken by the brand themselves. And of course the initiative would have been, of course, initiated through VNV only, but these sort of things can actually happen through Superkicks and VNV only. And then probably looking at these stores, that's when we can find these sort of drops happening at other and exclusive retail stores also as well, just the way we see Yeezys dropping at retails as well now these days, right? But not really a lot of Jordans though. So that's that, guys. I hope I was able to explain you guys as to how they work, how they operate, what are the pros and what are the cons. The best thing in India that I personally feel is that there is, again, as I said, there is a personal connect to with all these brands. They always take transactions also forward in ways and with these opportunities to not just drive sales but also to create a community around, because it's always and always better to have people move forward with the brand and not just numbers. So basically, guys, all in all, I would say is having Superkicks in place and having VNV in place, I personally believe that's the best thing that can actually happen to the sneaker community as a whole. Probably eventually we might see, you know, other brands and other labels also come up with these sort of concepts and having like a multi-brand sneaker boutiques of these sort. We have already seeing a consignment store being open in Bangalore by Cop Underdog. Shout out to Manan again, right? So that's a consignment store. That's a whole together a different ball game. And yes, if you guys want to know more about the whole idea behind consignment stores also, and you know what's the sort of operations model they have, and how this basically can probably help our community and the consumer behaviors too, do let me know. Hit me up in the comments, and we'll talk about that in the upcoming episodes as well. And talk to us, tell us what is it that we are doing right, and what is it that you guys probably feel that we should improve besides growing back this beard, of course, right? And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to us, tell us, give share the reviews, and let us know what all topics do you want us to cover in these episodes, in these podcasts, and we would love to talk about all of that, right? Thank you so very much for tuning in, and we'll meet you guys super soon. Before leaving, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't leave without subscribing, please, guys. That's something that's super important, or else, you know, माता रानी पाप देगी. ठीक है, सब्सक्राइब कर देना. Cool. Cheers, guys. See you guys super soon. Take care of yourself. Stay away from Corona, and good night.